I made an account on Invincible guarding the globe with one mission: spend no money by being completely free to play and see if I could have a chance with everyone and the whales all against me. You'll be able to see how I took my account from this all the way to this. 832 days later, this is the result. In this video, we're going to be covering 3 pillars. The first being the progress that I've made and how this account went from nothing to where it is now, including all of my mistakes and how it costed me weeks and weeks of progress that you don't have to repeat. The second will look at how I almost quit and the discovery of a game mechanic I never even thought of using. And the third being the tips. I'll be sharing the exact strategies that I would hand to myself on day one if I could go back. So sit back, relax and enjoy this free to play journey video. And don't forget to subscribe. I know you're watching. Hit that sub button, pal. Also, there is a progress bar at the bottom of the screen the whole way through, so you'll always know which part we're in. So if you are free to play, or even thinking about starting this game, stick around because this one is for you. Day 1 and how it started. The game itself did come out in February, but I didn't start playing until March 2024. And by then, of course, it's only been a month, but I saw it, I downloaded it, and within the first 10 minutes of playing the game, I was completely hooked. Now that might be because a brother loves to gamble, and the shop was like an Invincible version of Counter-Strike or CSGO cases for me.
Boom! 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 Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey! Chad! Chad! Oh my god!
And especially landing that first epic straight away, it sold it. I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world. And the day 1 roster was also nothing special. I had a couple of starter heroes and I had no idea what any of them did. I was just clicking whatever looked powerful. So I obviously went for who I thought was the most powerful in the show. I tried to get as many Invincibles as I could, regardless of all the beatdowns he took. Then I got Battle Beast and Omni Man, but boy oh boy was I wrong about how strong I thought they were in the early beginnings of the game. I also had no idea about synergy, no idea about factions, and no idea that the decisions I made in the first 2 weeks would actually shape how fast I progressed for the next year. The first big mistake. Looking into a typical gem blunder, which I could imagine every single new player has made. In my case, I had saved up around 2,000 gems, which sounds like an awful lot when you're brand new. And it definitely feels like it, considering everything in the shop is costing 200 gems to refresh or purchase something. And what I did was I spent every single one of them on shop refreshes. Not on an event, not during anything valuable, but all in the shop, on just refreshes. I genuinely thought I was being so smart. I would see a hero I want in the shop, I'd spam it, I'd use all my gems, I'd refresh, and then I refresh again, and a couple more times until all of a sudden I have burned through all 2,000 gems. And that at that time, I think it was a few weeks of saving up. And the kicker? Not even one of those refreshes really gave me anything I needed. And 2,000 gems, and that's like a good starter amount to use in many faction events. So that mistake alone really stunted my growth, as I was wasting all of my gems when I should have been thinking ahead and gem maxing. If you are new and you are watching this, please just let that sink in. Those gems are your currency. Treat them like it. Don't be spending it like you're a crypto Donny in a rug pool and losing everything you've got. The early grind. The first 100 days were honestly a wee bit of a mess. I was spreading my XP and upgrade materials across far too many heroes, as at that point in time I thought having a bigger roster, all with similar levels, was the best thing to do. But that's not necessarily true at the early level, because it means you've got a somewhat well-rounded team, but you don't have a strong team. Now this does completely change down the line, as it actually will be very helpful to have a bit of depth to your roster. But early on, you do need to focus on your original team, plus a couple others for your ops. My next big mistake was backing the wrong hero. In addition to spreading my resources too thin, I made an even more specific mistake. I built the wrong hero. I decided to build Battle Beast. I thought, knowing what I know from the comics, this guy is goated. He's insane. We know he's mad, and even right now in his new comic, he's going against Conquest and he's throwing hands. And even his stats, they looked very good. They looked super powerful. So what I did, I pumped all my XP into him and I ranked him up. And, of course, upgraded his skills too. He was my first omnipotent character, followed by Invincible. But the thing that I realised, all of the focus that I put onto Battle Beast did not even fit into the type of team I wanted to build. I noticed that he was like a glass cannon. He outputted a lot of damage, really high damage, but then he died so quickly. Somehow even not lasting as long as Immortal, and you know, we all know how Immortal is. He's always getting cooked. And I also didn't have a lot of synergy here either. This was like my only main From Worlds Beyond character, and everything else was between Criminal and Earth's Defenders, so there was no synergy. Although, I will say, it was a lot of fun running through the Cecil's Nightmares or parts of the campaign, as he was really helpful, but it was much more of a struggle with PvP and the meta and all the teams that you go against and how he fits around it. So I knew then that I needed to adapt and focus on another hero. So what's the lesson there? Before you invest in a character, check everything out. Check the faction, the role, and whether or not they're synergetic, if that's a word, with others when you're building around them. A lonely S tier character could struggle against a well-coordinated B tier team with the right equipment, right artifacts and totems, and if they're in the correct positions too. Now this is the near quit moment. Around month 2, I genuinely was kind of crashing out, and I even wanted to delete the game at points. Again, I kept running into teams in Arena that I couldn't touch. They had fully maxed characters, gear and artifacts I hadn't even unlocked. I didn't really understand why that was happening, but a little mistake, that I can add on here, which, is a double mistake you could say. I leveled up Omni-Man and Battle Beast, and at that point in time, and still now, their power level increases dramatically at like a far higher rate than other characters. So I was going against teams which had far higher real power level reflective like stats amongst their whole team, where let's say I had like Omni-Man at 1 million power level or 5 million, he played, it felt like more like a 500,000 or maybe like half of whatever I'm on about, and I didn't really get that. So I was thinking, is this game pay to win? Is there even any point playing? And truthfully, in some areas, the game is definitely pay to win. Like if you want to get to the top of the global leaderboard, that kind of sounds obvious. You're always going to have some other whales, some other guy decking his whole salary each month into this game. But that's expected. Most games are kind of like that. But here is what changed my mind about quitting. I realised that all the characters I spent all my resources on, like I said, they were throwing my power level way over, which was reflective of my own team. This was way before the patch 3.2, which has now added extra tags like the Coalition of Planets, which is further synergy. So I was kind of struggling with how, at that time, very highly leveled, only to get shot on by any other team which was weaker than mine. And with that reflection in mind, I felt like I was missing something, until I found an alliance. These were the turning points. Finding the right alliance is so crucial. Up to this point, I was in a pretty casual alliance. People I don't even know, I just joined it. I found it was a bit random getting in it, to be honest. But we weren't really progressing far, and so then I would move to a more active one, and a strategy which was a pretty good one I'll let you in on. I wanted to get some gems early on, so what I would typically do is I would just leapfrog between, or like bunny hop between all of the alliances which were a higher level than mine, and then I would just claim the rewards of gems, because you get gems after like, I think it's region 10, 20, 30, etc. I don't know if that's still possible now, but if a team has a free slot, I don't see why you couldn't pop in, get your bread and then head out. So how did I find a proper alliance which was going to take me all the way? I did this simply with a bit of effort, and I went on, the most horrendous place in the world. I went on Reddit, and I found Invincible, and I found the God in the Globe Reddit, and I just simply asked around. I found a few people that wanted to make a team with me. We all added up, and we all stuck it out, and now we're closing in on region 75, which, mind you, takes a very, very long time to do. Additionally, whilst you're claiming little gem rewards for each region, you are also getting armor and artifact pieces that, as a free-to-play player, you'd kind of have to grind a little bit for some of these. Especially if you join a very high rated alliance, you could be getting omnipotent gear very early on, and that could easily help you in PvP and PvE. As well as that, the alliance isn't just a social hub with a nice addition of a team chat. It's a free resource pipeline. So if you're in a dead alliance, I recommend move. Don't wait, get on it. So then what if you're not in an alliance? And that's a good question, and I've got the answer. I'm going to help you guys. In the comments below, I'm going to leave a little pinned comment And I want all of you guys to comment your gamer tag, which you can see at the top right in your friends tab, so that all of you guys who need an alliance to start, or if someone has a spot for you, you can find them all there. So if you need it, leave a comment and hopefully someone else will be there to help you too. Moving on, focusing on depth over width. This was the single biggest strategic shift that I made. I stopped trying to build everyone and I picked a faction and I went all in on it. I really wanted to focus on Earth's Defenders and From Worlds Beyond, with a slight hint of Criminal, mainly Doc Seismic in that case. The faction synergy bonus that you unlock when you run like multiple heroes from the same faction, it's not just a small bonus, it completely and like fundamentally changes how your team performs in Arena and the GDA Ops too. Mid-tier heroes with full faction synergy, you know, they could easily beat A-tier heroes with no synergy, depending if they're not completely over-leveled in Wales. So once I understood that, it completely changed how I invest like all my resources. The next turning point was using GDA Ops as your own passive, you know, money-making machine. Over in the GDA Ops, this area is the most underrated aspect of the game, especially for free-to-play players, and I didn't even understand this for such a long time. Every rank that you push in GDA Ops pays you back every single day. You probably know that. You know, it's passive income. The higher your rank, the better the rewards that just land in your inbox while you're chilling or asleep or whatever. Maybe you're at work doing nothing. And it's pretty consistent that new players don't even take this into account. They underinvest in GDA Ops because you might feel like you're taking something away from your team. I thought at the very start when I put him in that I wouldn't be able to play the campaign. Obviously, that's not true. But there is a heavy compounding effect here. With a higher GDA up, especially over the course of 832 days, the rank increase has massively increased the amount which I get on each up that I complete now. Furthermore, some of the most helpful tips for GDA Ops, I will be showing them on screen right now. These are some graphics from a lovely fella called Akokyu, I think. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. And it will show you where you need to focus on maximizing the most out of every single GDA op. You know, on screen they're on right now, but each picture will be on here for a few seconds and it shows you the team composition that you will need, and it looks at lower level players and it even moves on to higher level players. As well as that, it also does show you some strategies, for example, skills you should focus on. In some of them, it wants you to focus on maulers and have some slightly underleveled and some overleveled, where their cooldown for their ult ability coincide like one after the other, so it's like back to back to back to back skills going on. It will also show the likely return, may it be, you know, your coins or blue XP or pink XP, etc. In the little bar below the composition of the team, you should see that. And speaking of myself, I need to be focusing my intentions on, you know, maxing up my my ops, even more so than what I've achieved so far. You know, really, I just bang in the most powerful people I have. I did a little bit of research. I checked out who is like the best to put in. Like, even if we look at Training Gain, I put on Universal because look at that, mate. She just wipes everything out. And these graphics are very well done. So that the lovely Akokyu, if that's how you say the name, they did a great job. So if you missed anything, you can just go back, double check those photos, pause it, and make the notes you need, guys. Moving on to the fourth turning point. This was like a revelation, a gem-saving revelation. The final piece, and honestly the one that took the longest to click. I just stopped spending all of my gems on every event, full stop. I would let some events pass just so I would save up ready for some really good events like double elite heroes, or even I think it's the schools out or the all schools out, something like that, where every single character is available in the shop, or in the GTA op called schools out, where you can get characters after like 15 minutes, which is very good. Which is kind of similar to the current, you know, global countermeasures for the World Cup. So instead, I did start tracking which events I thought were likely to be coming out. If something happened a couple weeks ago and it happens again, I was thinking it's probably going to happen again in, you know, X amount of time in another couple weeks. That also allowed me to really hone in my focus on characters that I needed. So with all that gems I was saving up, nothing's getting wasted in the shop. And then with the events coming up, I'd be able to focus on them in particular. And the very first time I actually did this wasn't even that long ago. You know, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I still never really thought about saving my gems. But if you do this early on, you could really further your progression ahead. So what did I do? I went around, I got all the gems I could, I played all the ops that I did, all the GDA stuff, all the case files, whatever it may be, and I saved 26,000 gems just for a Thrag event, because in my eyes, he is the GOAT. And I thought, and he still is, he's still very top tier, hence why he's number one in my best heroes little short I put out. I thought he was going to be insane, so I wanted to put everything I could. I saved 26,000. I've never done that before. I was so tempted to, you know, spend it all whenever I could. So I went into that event with a plan. I specifically targeted Thrag and, like, you know, a couple other from Worlds Beyond, just so I had some fodder, so I could, you know, upgrade and rank up and build everyone up. I was able to get Omnipotent Thrag with 10 stars, and I still got a couple more brewing in the back that I still need to make use of. You see, he's not too bad. But that one event moved my account forward with so much progression, especially for that faction, than just, you know, maybe the past couple months of dilly-dallying around, maybe getting into some events, you know, spending some gems. I never had this much volume, ever, in terms of characters and whatnot. And that's when I really clocked it. I was really starting to understand this game, and that took me so long. And now that you know it, you can follow in my steps, but even earlier, and save your gems for events that matter. And now, this brings us to day 832. This is what the current state of my account is looking like. And look at this. Viltrumite upon not Viltrumite, I'm geeking out. Omnipotent upon Omnipotent. We got a whole lot. We do have like a lot of fodder. You can see I'm focusing on Thrags, some blue Invincible, a lot of Conquest as well, and a whole lot of Doc Seismic, to be honest. Right now, I do intend to really build as much Space Racer as possible. But if I scroll all the way back up to the top, we can see here, the very top 5 is the main team that I've built over these past 832 days, and I've spent nothing. Literally nothing. You could pull up some other YouTubers, some other people, some creators, and they might have as many Omnipotent as me, maybe less, maybe more, and some of them have spent money. I have spent literally nothing, and I want to keep it that way, because I'm a bit of a tight arse with my money, to be honest. But the progress that we've made on this is just next level. We've got a 1300 leveled hero. You know, we got a lot of things, and quite frankly, a lot of my roster mugs a lot of people here. But like looking at my top 5, you know, I can give you a quick rundown of why I chose them. I went for Doc Seismic purely because of, is it this one here? His massive earthquake. It's insane. He can completely just, you know, I was gonna say Savo some people, but he can completely change the whole dynamic of a battle, hitting all grounded enemies for nearly 400% of his attack, getting rid of shields, getting rid of you know, their energy resistance for a wee bit. And he also, I think it's this ability here. Nope, it's the last one, Shockwave. When someone gets like very close to him, he'll just fly away. You know, that stuns them, and that's pretty good. You know, one of the strategies that I followed early on and still now, I bang Doc Seismic no, I don't. I put Doc Seismic right at the front. So then if someone sprints over, flies over very quickly, he flies away, stuns the rest of the team, and then for that 3 seconds, that team, depending on how many I hit, they could be cooked, because my team, they're not stunned and they're battering away at them. And of course we do have Invincible up here. He will, in a short amount of time, be replaced by Blue Invincible. That's the plan. But I went for him. He's still pretty good. He's got a top tier skill, that being Supersonic, where he just batters into everyone like 6 times. And he has his like invincibility shield at the very end. We also have Anissa. She's really good. Like I said in my little short, she gets rid of people in the game for like a couple seconds, which is a great feature, really. The best part about her is that she also can reduce all of the attack stats for each human, you know, on the enemy team. And it's not just 6%, you know, one way. It's 6% per human. So that can go up to 5. And a bit of quick maths, 6 times 5, that is 30%. That's insane. 30% reduction of the defense. So typically if you're going against Anissa and you're all human, she's gonna pummel you. She's gonna get right through you in no time. And again, her last stats, they're pretty nice too. And Universa, as everyone knows, she's just a beam melter. Her last skill, she just hits everyone, you know, with a ray up to 4 times, and she deals a lot of damage. I need to level up a little bit more to get that last 5%. She's insane. I will be again replacing her with Space Racer down the line. I just need to get more leveled up. And the last part, but also a key ingredient in my team, is Conquest. Now he is good, he is very, very top tier, not in my current top 5, but at the time where invincibility shields were going everywhere, you got Invincible having it, you have Mortal having it, and there's some others. He was able to, with his third ability, completely break it when you get it to level 10, he has a 100% chance of breaking the immunity barriers, which is amazing. That's sick, especially in PvP as well, for getting you times quicker in Cecil's Nightmares. And my synergy setup that I've got over here, I do have 3 Worlds Beyond characters, so that does open up. If we pull up the battle here, I think, if we look at this, so if you have 3 heroes of the same faction, you get 5% more HP, 1% more attack, and none on defense. So I do have some synergy, but ideally, if you had 5 heroes of the same faction, that would be quite insane. But on the other side of that, that also means you would be very weak to the opposing factions. You take like 20% extra, I don't know if it's energy damage or whatnot, from Earth's defenders. But again, that also means you do extra damage to things like that of a GDA team. Now let's move on to the entire progress of my account. Let's start off by officially welcoming the 25th brand new, let's get the right one, brand new omnipotent character, Mr. Dinosaurus Bow. And we've got enough to get him to Omnipotent Plus. Also, a quick little tip that I would just say, you know, a pre-tip. I would recommend favoriting at the top left here all of your heroes, so you don't accidentally somehow get rid of them or do anything, you know, stupid when you're leveling them up. As you can see, I do have like a well-rounded amount of people. We got Thrag here. You can go a little bit higher. Aside from like the main lot, some of the older characters, you know, Warwoman, Monster Girl, I didn't really build, but going forward that will be my focus. Now that I've got like a proper good, you know, base team, I can expand the palette a little. Let's see, if I put up my inventory as well, we do have quite a lot of like artifacts and equipment. Like, look, this omnipotent upon omnipotent and a lot of seismic, a lot of things here. And I got a decent amount of consumables as well. This is just standard. A lot of these things you can get as free to play, but let's actually craft up these things now so we can start to use them. I've been saving up all these just to pop them in the video. This is where the CSGO addiction aspect pops in here. Doing all this, it's very aesthetic, I quite like it. Level them up, bang! We got the Thrax and Jetpack, we'll be able to get him up a wee bit. And we got the stun device, which is very good. I've never had the chance to use it until recently, over in the equipment. I'll be able to get a good few levels on Mr. Conquest. Oh, never mind. And we've got the cloaking device. This is such a good artifact. This is one of the best ones too. Again, further decreasing the defense of all humans, and a lot of people use humans. Like Anissa plus this, it's insane. And one thing you'll notice, if you don't know already, when you get to a certain level, they don't cost any more of the, you know, kind of gold currency. It's free. You just need to get all of the artifacts and beyond to use it. I'll also give you a little overview of all my GDA Ops. You might have saw it earlier, but I didn't bring your attention to it. You can see all my ranks of all my ops here. 15, 24, 21, 21, 15, 23, 21, 20. If we bring it all the way over to the shop, max level. This is an event, so that doesn't matter. Max level. Over in the lab, that's a pretty nifty one. Okay, I'm gonna go for it, don't mind if I do. All that shit talk I gave to Battle Beast earlier. Don't hate me now, man. You know, I just got you, buddy. Okay, let's just get them out. And then the final shot, Multiverse. I haven't leveled this up all the way yet. We're almost there. We're at 7, but I barely ever purchase from there. The progression you can see and what you can kind of guess what you'll get with a free-to-play account is this. I almost max it out. Before, I was maxing them out because it took me a long time to get to them. They used to have 30 or 40. But then they added an additional 20 odd levels, and now I've reached another plateau where I need to upgrade my team even more. Likewise, on the faction-based Nightmares, I reach a plateau a little bit near the end. And furthermore, if we pull up the Multiverse Arena League, you can see me, I'm sitting at a lovely Elite League 1. I wasn't 2, I dropped, I wasn't paying attention the other week. But we're still in the Elite League. That's the real important part. And my defense here, as you can see, we got 1.22 billion. Fair amount of trophies. I'll have to get on this later tonight so I don't get relegated. And also here are the GDA case files. We have pretty decent progress amongst all of them. I've got to, again, focus on some areas, the twins, you know, some other like rare characters, but like I don't really pay attention to Multipole or Black Samson or Flaxen Leader, none of them. So with all that in mind, My days played are 832. I've got all of my GDA Ops to a goated rank. They're all giving me really, really good rewards at this point. My Arena League, as you saw previously, it is elite right now. I was a wee bit higher, but I got relegated because I wasn't paying attention. But it's still fairly high, it's not too bad. And I can definitely get to the Invincible League, I believe. I've got full faith. And like you saw, the team power is sitting at a massive 1.22 billion. Not million, billion. And this is all free to play, and I've all put in a bunch of hard work, long hours. You know, I was playing this on nights out at uni. I was doing games of pool with my mates, and they're always wondering, what are you doing, man? Like, what's going on? Play the pool, because we're out here doing a wee bit of pool, and I'm over there on the side, making sure I'm getting the shop refreshers in, like I'm an addict. But now, for all the lucky individuals that stayed, here are the 8 free-to-play tips that actually matter in this game the most. Starting with tip 1, the daily login is your salary. It's not glamorous, and like I said, it's not exciting, but every single day that you miss this, you're leaving, you know, some money on the table. Imagine 832 days of logging in. That number adds up, and if I didn't spend any of it, the number we'd have today would be insane. It would be crazy. So remember this if you can. Every day, get that done. Tip 2, I recommend saving gems for faction events, you know, like 90% of the time. And of course, if you get the bootcamp event where you can get some XP, that's also really important too. But like I said, do not pull on every single banner you see in the ops screen at the very top. You know, have a plan, you know, focus on who you're building, and if you can kill that impulsivity, you're gonna have a free to play account which is putting up good numbers. Tip 3, your GDA Ops, you got to push it as much as you can. If you can, set a timer, or just keep it in mind every couple hours, whenever it finishes, get your rewards, restart them all, go through it all. This is where you're making your passive income, because if you leave this out, you're leaving out tons of resources that are really crucial for your progression. Tip number 4, get into an active alliance early. I already mentioned earlier, but don't stay in a dead alliance just because you want to be loyal to it, right? Loyalty is a very good thing, but it's pretty typical for you to go around, find what works, and if the team is inactive or whatnot, it won't provide any benefit for anyone, not just yourself. So an active alliance will give you consistent gem income with all those region clears, at least for the first, I think it's like 30, 40, 50, whatever it may be, in addition to the armor and all the artifacts that you get. And as a free-to-play player, all of these are really necessary to get better. The 5th tip, focus on one faction. In my case, the faction that I love is From Worlds Beyond, and I don't know if I'm ever going to stray away from that, because the criminal side of things, they're alright. They're not too bad, but I wouldn't build them. The GDA, they're alright, they're getting like significantly better. Shapesmith is pretty top tier. But if you're starting out, I do recommend focusing on one, because then you get that added synergy also. Tip 6, every time the trophy road pops out, you can get free gems or free characters. So don't forget this. I've done this a couple of times where I completely forget the trophy road is even on. So it wouldn't surprise me if newer players are doing the same things that I do, but hey, you never know. And these often tend to pop up with new character events, and normally that's like a monthly thing. So if something comes out on the 20th, you know, imagine next month, around that date, hopefully you'll be seeing a new character. And on to the 7th tip, a really important point, bench depth unlocks content. At the very start I said to focus on that 5, that main team, but as you progress along you'll notice you'll need to have other heroes, other characters to put in your ops, and this is where the depth is. All of your ops, your event restrictions, CISO nightmares, all of these, they need, you know, specific heroes. So a roster which has a huge depth to it will be really well versed. You can cover every area you need, and eventually you'll be able to purchase every single slot in the GDA op and have all the teams running on that to get you even more resources. And the final tip, and you guys should by now have all the codes if you have seen my short on all the current gem codes, but you need to redeem every single code you see. They always post it on Discord or their Instagram, all of that. I do have, like I said, in that little codes video short, you can see all of it, and you can get over 2,400 gems, all for free, just doing your codes. And these definitely add up way faster than you think over 800 days. Because in total, I guarantee I've probably amassed way over maybe 240,000 gems, which is just an insane metric to even take into account. So overall, can you actually compete as a free-to-play player? And I'll say honestly, is the game pay to win? As we said earlier, if you want you know, to be in the top 100, the global leaderboard, oh, 100%. Like, that's pretty obvious. But you can definitely still be really competitive as a free-to-play player, and you've seen it from me. I'm doing it, so you can definitely do it. You can completely wipe out the whole campaign until they just added this new one, which appears to be rummaging me. I can't get past this because I don't have leveled up GDA, but I'll be focusing on that soon. You also can get great GDA Ops progression. You saw it from me. As long as you're upgrading these, you can reap the rewards. Community events or hero events or whatever it may be. For free-to-play players, you can make a good amount of progress if you save up your gems with the tips like I said earlier. And regarding being competitive in your bracket, you can definitely do so. And a crazy experience was with the Thrag event. I almost finished in a top 100 event, being entirely free to play, all because I thought I'm gonna lock in and save up 26,000 gems. And then of course I was able to get a high reward with me nearly finishing the whole nightmare itself. The timeline is tough. As a free to play player, for the first 3 months you've built probably a decent foundation. Around 6 months you've got a decent competitive team, I would say, and then by 12 months you're probably punching well above your weight. But 832 days, well, then you're here. The free-to-play superpower, I would say, is patience. It's gotta be. Spenders get the power now, but free-to-play players who stack their gems and wait for the right moment, who build with intention instead of just impulse getting every single thing, you could also put up exceptionally good numbers in most aspects of this game. I'm at 832 days with £0 spent or $0, and I'm still here, and I'm still competitive, and I'm still enjoying this game. So, what day are you guys on? Are you free-to-play? Or did a happy hour gem bundle drag you back in when you thought you were out? Drop it in the comments and I read every single one and reply to them all. If this helped in any way, I also have a great tier list video coming up very soon. So subscribe for some more fresh, Invincible, guarding the globe content. Take care.